Tim, good morning. It's April 21st, 2026. I hear the Bloomberg Intelligence team has been hard at work for the companies to watch on the second quarter. And you guys been working on your focus ideas. So before we dive into those, could you let us know first what Bloomberg Intelligence is all about? And then can you explain to us what focus ideas really are?
Absolutely. So Bloomberg Intelligence, it's the investment research business at Bloomberg, part of a broader group of Bloomberg Research, which includes Bloomberg Intelligence, Bloomberg Economics, and Bloomberg NEF. We clearly focus on markets, industries, companies, credits from an investment research angle. Bloomberg Economics is the macro side of things, and NEF does really interesting energy transition work. All told, BI, it's about 500 people now. It's a global department, top down, bottom up, and we're quite sensitive to the developments of where, as I had said, markets, companies, industries are headed as we look ahead. The overall Bloomberg Research Group is upwards of 900 people globally. So it's a significant research house. Focus ideas are a special category within what we do at BI. They are high conviction views that our analysts have, where they have a differentiated mindset versus what the market is currently thinking. And importantly, there are catalysts ahead that we think can change the mindset. So it's essentially three pillars: high conviction, differentiation, triggers ahead. And that's focus ideas. The 10 that we've focused in on here for the second quarter all have important catalysts coming up, mostly revolving around earnings or new product launches.
Right. So in this age of disruption, in this age of AI, of reversing globalization, of evolving competition, what do 500 people from BI have been focusing on?
There's a broad swath of ideas across the focus idea set. There's 120 of these things, actually, broadly. And they do range across all sectors. Again, this is bottom-up company type ideas. But quite often we can peg them into certain categories. There's always innovation happening. And quite often the market is behind the curve in terms of appreciating where new products might carry a company. In today's world, with all of the craziness going on, as you just said, competitive pressures are huge. And there are winners and there are losers from that vantage point. And then we always are thinking, what's driving a given sector? And at this point in time, I think the financials broadly are quite interesting because you've got divergent central bank views. You've got relatively high interest rates versus what we've experienced the last 10 years. And there's questions about the economy. All of those play through into the financial sector.
Right. And can you give me some example of some of the names we're looking at?
Absolutely. So on the new product innovation front, there's 3 of the 10 that zero right in on that topic. One of them is Broadcom. I mean, AI being what it is, everybody knows that there's a chip story behind this, and everybody thinks about NVIDIA. But Broadcom has they have specialized accelerator chips that are much cheaper when you're just doing a single specific task. So in a customer service chat bot that's AI driven, that's going to get repeated questions over and over again, it's far easier to use Broadcom's chip than it is NVIDIA, far more cost effective. And Broadcom also has networking gear. So the whole data center boom feeds right into Broadcom. Ferrari, totally different. Everybody likes Ferrari. They're in the midst of an acceleration, no pun intended, new product suite. The F80, their new supercar, has started delivering. And in May, they will formally launch the Luce, which is their all-new electric vehicle. And these are 2 of 20 that are coming. And we think that sales and margins are going to expand more along the lines of classic luxury goods. and that's not in consensus expectations. The other one is a little company called Dexcom. Well, it's not that little, but it's in the medical device area. And specifically, they have wearable glucose monitors if you're diabetic. So instead of sticking your finger all the time, you wear this device. And what's cool about Dexcom is that they've had a 10-day wearable, and they're now in the midst of ramping up a 15-day. So it's far better for the user, far better for their profit margins. And we think that that's yet to be fully baked in.
Perfect. And on you also mentioned the competition front and financials. What do you got for us?
Yeah, competition. It's an interesting thing there. It's a couple of different thoughts. Number one, DraftKings, sports betting. Big deal everywhere, especially in the States. And as of late, there's been concern that actually prediction markets would overtake the betting market because the prediction markets are, on fire. And Kalshi is a company that's got a prediction market app. And if you look at the NFL playoff period, Kalshi's downloads of their app far surpassed DraftKings. And everybody's concerned DraftKings losing the business. That said, DraftKings overall base is far larger. They've also got their own prediction market app coming, and we just think the market is underestimating where their revenue is going to go. Meituan, this is Chinese. This is the largest online shopping vehicle in China. 700 million plus users, huge. They've got a great business. That said, Alibaba and others are encroaching into their business, especially in the area of Insta shopping, where you want to buy groceries or toothpaste or dog food, and it gets to you in 30 minutes. And we think that they're facing competitive threats, and their profits are probably going to disappoint. Last but not least, I'd mention Haleon. And you wonder, who is Haleon? But Advil, Centrum, Sensodyne, all these consumer health products that we all use are part of their portfolio. And in the US in particular, they work through their business with a cost savings plan as well as new marketing initiatives. And we think that they're going to accelerate share versus the key competition. So again, we think that the market is underappreciating where their revenue stream can go.
Wow, there's a lot. I think we've gone through a few of the corporates. If we look at on the financial side, which are also a big part of the benchmark, what's in stock? Yeah,
so a couple of things. We think about Asia and Europe on this list. In Asia, a couple of interesting developments. One, Japan exchanges. The Japanese market has gotten far more interesting from a global investment interest perspective. Stock trading is up. At the same time, they're also raising interest rates at the Bank of Japan. It's unlike most other big developed central banks. And with that, Japan exchanges is seeing stronger volumes, and there's always also a cash component of collateral balances that they have. And with higher interest rates, they'll earn more interest. And so both of those provide a revenue uplift for Japan Exchange. Magellan is an Australian fund manager, and they're in the midst of making an acquisition that should bolster their assets under management by about 25%. They have a very distinct dividend payout policy, and we think dividends going to jump something on the order of 10% or more in the next fiscal year. That's not in consensus expectations right now. In Europe, Germany's in focus. And part of this is just the big German stimulus package of driving sustained or better infrastructure and a more autonomous defense for Germany and Europe more broadly. Both of those should produce more economic activity, more lending that folds into Deutsche Bank, the largest of the banks. And we think earnings as well as their dividend and buyback program could surprise. And last but not least, Here in the UK, there is, I think, an overall concern about consumer activity. We just think that their expectations for a recovery in home building are likely to be disappointed, especially with some of what's going on right now post the Iran war.
We could do this all day, I guess.
Yes.
But it's, I think, one of the most amazing things that we just saw coming through right now is we have been to almost every continent in the world. So the breadth of coverage is pretty much there. Tim, if I wanted to go through these focus ideas that you just mentioned, where can I find them?
Yep. So on the Bloomberg Terminal, BI Go takes you to overall Bloomberg Intelligence, and you can certainly navigate from there. But specifically, just type on the terminal BI space focus, and you'll see all 120 odd current ideas by sector, all the ideas that we've closed as well. It is an active portfolio. Like I said, we have about 120 right now, but over the last year, we've closed more than 70. That tells you there's ongoing new flow of new ideas.
Right. So BI Focus it is. Couldn't be easier. Thank you so much, Tim.
Pleasure. Thank you.